Hey, everybody, in this episode of the GH Report, Carly's pregnant, Laura's starting to figure out what Ryan might be up to, and what's going on with Shiloh and this dawn of new day. We're going to break it all down next.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the GH Report right here on AfterBuzz TV, breaking down all the latest shenanigans going on in Port Charles. I'm Frank Moran.
I'm Carla and
And as always, folks, follow us on Facebook, give us 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and while you're there, give it a thumbs up. And, of course, Carla's got her iPad here, which means that chat is up and running.
Yes, it is. And people
are
live and up and in it. We got Dulamon, Kelly, and Joe Costanza already in the chat room thus far. You know that it'll be thousands before we're done.
That's right, thousands here to see all and hear all of Carla's fantastic thoughts about everything that's going on.
Not really, but okay.
Come on, of course, that's the whole reason. They tolerate me. They come for you.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah, so before we break everything down in a little bit more detail, what did you think of this week overall?
Okay, can I just say that it's really, we're going to put Mike in the group home, and then we're going to have Carly get pregnant? Like, really? Like, we can't just, like, I was like, but what I was really kind of annoyed by was Sonny's reaction to it all. I was like, oh no, he's not being lovely. I don't know how I feel about my Sonny not being lovely about this moment. It was kind of messing me up a little bit.
Part of me was thinking, like, has Sonny just reached that snapping point where it's like, I've got too many kids already.
With different women, and he don't have nobody by the same person. I'm like, look, he like a player from the hood. I'm like, what's going on, Sonny? But yeah, that was kind of a stretch. And the other thing that was a stretch was the other thing that was a stretch is that now Jordan is like, let me hatch a plan, because I'm not so sure that what I think is true is true. I'm like, okay, y'all GH writers, y'all are stretching this. They were stretching. They stretched that arm far and wide this week.
Yes.
Don't you think?
Yeah. I definitely have some thoughts about that storyline. But as you start off with the stuff with Sonny and Carly, I guess we'll start off with that. Mm-hmm. My thought about the pregnancy, and I know some people were tweeting about this as well.
Let's see what they're saying.
Is that the whole Sonny and Carly thing? I mean, you feel like you need something to happen to them because Ryan has got them, just on his number one on his to-do list. Got to get rid of them so Ava can have her daughter, and we can go off and live happily ever after.
Well, this is after he eliminated Griffin from being on his to-do list, because Griffin was on his list at first, because he thought that Ava was trying to go back into the arms of Griffin. I'm like, oh, so Ryan got the nerve to be a serial killer and a jealous serial killer on top of that.
That's right.
I'm like, well, he's doing way too much.
So I feel like Carly being pregnant gives them something terrible to happen to them without killing either Carly or Sonny. You can still do something really devastating to them, but that is by losing their unborn child.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that he said that kind of made me go, okay, he's not being a complete asshole, and I'm talking about Sonny, is when the last time he pointed out that the last time she was pregnant with Joss, they said that she could possibly have a stroke and die because of the age that she was when she had Joss, and now she's considerably older. So any woman out there that knows about, pregnancy after a certain age, I think it's probably after 40 or maybe mid-30s, late 40s, it gets to be a little riskier to have a child, because when you get to be that age in life, you have a little more health issues that are going on. Not for everybody. Some people, who was it? Brigitte Nielsen had a baby, and she was, what was she, 56 or 57 or 60 something? I mean, it does happen, but it doesn't happen without some huge health risks being at stake, Yeah, I don't need to see Carly pregnant. I just don't. Not that I want her to lose the baby, but I don't need to see that right now.
I just don't feel like it's going to get that far. I feel like that everything with Ryan, something's going to happen during an encounter between the two of them that's going to cause her to lose the baby.
And I felt sorry for her when she told him and he didn't have the response that she thought he was going to have. Like, she looked genuinely hurt that he wasn't happy about the news. And then his little voice cracked when he talked about...
I was just wondering about that.
When his voice cracked, when he was like, I just don't want you to have a stroke and die. I was like, oh, Maurice. Aw, boobala.
Maurice's got that way of like when he gets those like a little emotional moments where his voice will break.
I know that was actually very endearing. I'm like, oh, I need for that to. Oh, it was just. And speaking of which, I'm thinking we need to try to find a way to go to that. General Hospital has that convention.
Yes.
We need to find a way to bum rush that joint.
We're coming for you, GH convention.
We need to bum rush that joint with a microphone and a camera and be like Maurice Bernard.
That's right. That is
with a big old AfterBuzz B microphone on it. Be like, hey, what's happening?
For those of you who don't know, I mean where that convention is going to be happening next month is
here in Los Angeles, right?
15
in Long
minutes
Beach?
away from us. No, Burbank, Marriott.
Oh, Burbank? Oh,
yeah.
Pshaw.
15 minutes away from us.
Of course, we have to get there. We need to bum rush that with a microphone. We need to just do like a Skype feed and just have them have them watch us with a Skype feed running around with a microphone and a camera. Oh my God, that could be pure comedy.
I'm just gonna let's all trick everybody that it's actually give them this address so they all show up here instead. And then we'll bring them all in. There you go, Steve Burton, get in here. All right.
They said that how old is she supposed? They said that Laura is 48 years old. They're not sure how old Carly is, but Laura is 48. So if Laura Wright is 48, that means Carly must be in close proximity, if not older. Because Carly, first of all, let's put this into perspective. Carly's been on that show for 20 years, and she came on when she was in her 20s. Yeah. So it's very feasible that she's in her early to late 40s, possibly early 50s.
Yeah, because I feel like...
Because she wasn't a teenager when she came on. She was definitely in her 20s.
Yeah, I kind of feel like early, though, because she definitely felt like that young ingenue that was kind of luring Tony.
Yeah, she was doing way too much when she came on. Yeah. She was pure comedy when she came on. She really was, but we love her for it.
Yeah, so I will be curious to see how long this one develops. But to go to the person that's probably going to be trying to stop this all from happening, our boy Ryan Collins.
Oh, yes.
How much did you enjoy that little the imaginations of Ryan?
Because this is what I will give GH credit for. When they do those little things like that, for a split second, I'm thinking, oh, is this the storyline? And then they snap out of me like, oh, y'all got me. I enjoyed that because I thought it was for real for a second. I'm like, ooh, no. Because she was like, hey, but I think the thing that tipped me off is when Carly was like, Ava, help me. I'm like, Carly would never be like, Ava, help me. Like, that would never, and I was like, one eye open, like, I don't know about this. And then Ava running her hands across the knives and picking one and asking Carly if she wanted a facelift. Ooh, that made me laugh out loud. That was funny. That was pure comedy right there.
I feel the way you knew it was not going to be real, which is just that, because nobody takes down Sonny that easily.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
First of all, when have you ever seen Sonny tied up and with tape over his mouth? Like, it's either one or the other, not both.
Yeah, I mean, the most of it, like when he was stuck over there by the dock, when he fell in that hole, and Sam left him. I mean, he was there for a few days, but that's like been his most distress. But he wasn't tied up and bound and gagged.
Yeah, no. I'm like, it's Sonny Corinthos. You can't bound and tie him up. Like, come on. This is the godfather of Port Charles. What does that say if he is bound and gagged? I'm just like, that is not a good look for Sonny if he is bound and gagged. I'm just saying.
Well, we do get to see a little afternoon delight for Ryan and Ava.
Oh, as it's interrupted by Laura. And then this made me laugh too. Why was Ava trying to look all embarrassed and shameful when Laura came in trying to fix her shirt? I'm like, girl, you are not hardly embarrassed. You was about ready to go do it again. You was ready for round 2 when she hit that door. Like, come on now. Stop playing.
Well, I like that we get to see 2 times in the most recent week of Ryan swiping off stuff off his desk. First, when Ava walks out after their little argument, we see him in rage. He's like, ah! And then this time when he's just kind of casually.
But what I was surprised, I was like, when he did that, I was like, ooh, I hope that little thing with the driver's licenses isn't sitting up there, because he loves to keep that sitting on top of his desk. Like, he loves to he doesn't always keep it in that little place where he keeps it hidden and locked. Yeah. Sometimes he just loves to sit there with it on top of his desk, coveting his little trophies. So I was surprised that it actually wasn't sitting up there that time. I'm like, oh, he did knock that over. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, we're starting to make. I feel like this is the way that we we're the wheels starting to click into place to at least the next part of the storyline start to happen, where we get that the final thing where the prenup that Kevin tried to slip into to Ryan's thoughts. Finally, Laura picks up on it, and I loved as I watched that scene start. I was like, Laura, please don't have Laura like start to try to question it in the moment.
Right. Like just have her shut up and just like quietly contemplate it so that she can like keep it under her hat and figure out what the hell is going on, which it turns out is slowly but surely kind of answering all of her, what's the word I'm looking for? Her curiosity about why he's been so weird acting, you know?
Well, it was one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, she was married to Luke for all this time. So, I mean, you know, and Luke is somebody that loves to run a con. As they traveled around the world, they would run cons. So I liked seeing Laura, that nod to her past. Like, yeah, she's going to play it cool, even though the wheels are spinning in her head.
Yep. And speaking of wheels spinning, how much, I know you hate Spencer, but I love when Spencer comes back because Spencer just makes me chuckle.
It was, you know, I mean, and certainly I think like everybody else, and he even tweeted about it this week too, about his voice deepening as he's getting older.
It's deepening and it's cracking.
Yeah.
So it's a little crack. It's funny with him trying to control the crack when it happens. Him trying to control the crack while his voice is deepening is just pure comedy. His voice is deepening, but he's still short. He's just not growing.
Yeah. That's true.
He's just not growing. He is not going to be a tall dude. He's just not.
That's all right.
That's fine. I'm short, so I'm one to talk about somebody in some height. I'm short. But having said that, I just love the fact that everybody that he's growing up with is like 10 feet tall. And
that's true.
And he's still like, 5'2".
I don't know if it's just a combination of various factors. Nicholas getting older, the writers maybe writing him just a little bit more mature. But seeing him this week and the way his conversations and the way he was acting didn't quite hit those spots where I like Spencer, please, enough.
Yeah, he was a little more mature this week. Like there was that whole conversation where he came into Lulu's room to give her and Laura the presents, right? And he came in there and she was like, "Why aren't you in?" Lulu says, "Why aren't you in school?" He's like, "I'm on holiday." She's like, "Spencer, you're always on holiday." That made me laugh so loud because I was like, "What is he, like a cavalier playboy of Port Charles?" Like it just made me laugh. I don't know why that was funny to me. It was just funny.
To go back to Ryan and Ava for a second, as I said, Laura's starting to follow Kevin. Looks like he's going to follow him to see where Ferncliff to have it, hopefully run into Kevin, which would be great. But
let's hope.
Do you feel whatever happens with Ava, is this something that like she deserves? Is this just karma for Ava's all her misdeeds? Does she truly deserve what's happening to her?
You know, I love Mara West, who plays Ava, and I love that she's able to color Ava with all those different types of layers of vulnerability and bitchiness and all of that. But I don't care how bitchy and mean and hateful and unlikable you are, nobody deserves what's about to happen to her. Like I think she's probably gonna have a nervous breakdown. Because with Kiki gone and the only person that she really has is Julian, really. I mean, Franco, but I think she's probably going to lose it. They're going to end up putting her in Ferncliff because she's going to lose her shit.
The fact that...
She might be the person that kills him.
If anybody is, it's going to be her. Because I don't think it won't be Laura or Kevin.
No, it's probably going to be Ava. Because it's only going to be so long. And this is the thing that's so despicable about it all. He's constantly comforting her over her loss of Kiki, constantly reassuring her that he's going to help her find out who did this to her little girl, full well knowing the whole time it was him. Yeah. What does he think is going to happen when she discovers that he's the reason she no longer has her little girl? She is going to snap like a twig.
For him to have that fantasy of Ava, like being excited that the knives are laid out and she's going to get on board with actually killing with Ryan.
That's not going to happen.
It amazes me to think that he can buy into that reality and not at all deal with the fact of what's going to happen when Ava finds out that it was really him.
Because he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and he's proven that he's crazy. Like, this is somebody who literally in his mind thinks that if he gets rid of anybody that is a threat to his happiness with Ava, that's going to bring her closer to him. What's he going to do? Kill all of Port Charles?
Well, not everybody's that interested in Ava.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah. So, but the last person in the storyline was Griffin, as you mentioned at the beginning of the week. He was so close to the edge, so close. I feel like
Ava saved him from being on the edge. Really,
our boy Griffin is like a man without a country right now. He's got really nothing going on.
But they're trying to pair him up with Sasha, which I'm like, my favorite moment last week. My favorite moment ever. You know how much I love the chick that plays Liesl. My favorite moment ever was her standing there with her hair all swooped and curled, singing karaoke at the Floating Rib with Sasha and Griffin lurking in the background. That made me so happy. I'm like, what is Liesl doing? Is she like singing out her sorrows? What is happening in this moment? It was so random and wrong that it just made me laugh out loud. It was so random, but I loved every moment of it.
It is interesting to see because, Liesl knows what the scoop is with Sasha and Valentine.
She read them too.
But it's also like, as she comes over to Sasha, it's like, you really should know your family's medical history.
Yeah, but remember, she warns Griffin. She says, "Yeah, she playing with her is like playing with fire. You might want to make sure you don't get singed." I was like, "Ooh, no." She's going. I love when Liesl goes in and she does it with a smile on her face. It is pure yumminess.
I as much as she said she made her deal with Valentine, like I know this, but I won't say anything as long as you hook me up. And so now she's got this great job writing for the Invader. But she still keeps poking. And so I'm trying to feel like, do you think that she truly cares about that Nina's being taken advantage of? Or
I think she just wants to stick it to Valentine.
Yeah,
I don't think she cared. She clearly showed that she didn't care anything about Nina when she left Nina burning in the burning, was it a house or cabin or wherever it was,
over that
with the whole thing with Peter.
Island, yeah,
she proved then she didn't care nothing about Nina. She left her in there and didn't know whether she was gonna live or die. I mean, homegirl was passed out in a burning building, and Lisa was like, "See, you gotta go."
Yeah, I feel like the only person she might truly care about is Maxie, and that's because of James. And because that's her link to Nathan.
I think she truly does care about Maxie. I think Maxie is, and I think the only reason she cares about Maxie and Maxie is the only person she won't go left on is because Maxie calls it like she sees it, which is very much a character trait of Liesl, and Liesl kind of respects Maxie for that. Like, Maxie is wrong as two left shoes too, but Maxie will admit when she's wrong, and she'll call Liesl out when she's wrong too. She'll call her out to her face. She won't talk about her behind her back. She won't plot stuff behind her back. She's like, "Yeah, no, you shouldn't have done that, and it was wrong. And I'll forgive you because you're my son's grandmother, but really, Liesl, really?" Like, she'll do that. Yeah. She'll say that to her, and I think Liesl respects her for actually doing it that way.
No, I do like that relationship and that dynamic between the two of them. How did you feel about the brewings of a little mystery investigation between Maxie and Peter as they start trying to put the clues together about Valentine and Sasha?
It was actually quite comical. So when there was that moment where Maxie put her head in her hands and she was like, "Oh my God, I hate to even say this out loud." But when she said out loud, there might be the possibility that Sasha isn't really Nina's daughter. And the camera hit Peter's face and it was like, "Dun, dun, dun." And he had that look on his face like, with his mouth open like an emoji. It was hilarious. Thank you, and good night. I'll be here all week. It was pure comedy. I'm like, wow, that's just, yeah.
I did like them at least trying to put it together, and pretty smartly as well.
But he knows. This is the thing.
Well, he doesn't know.
Yes, he does. He knows. Yes, he does. Peter knows.
Peter doesn't know that Sasha's not.
Yes, he does.
Does he?
I think he does. Chat room, tell me if Peter knows about Sasha.
Because
they said yeah.
No, I don't think so, because
I think they said yeah.
I mean, because he keeps asking him to do these things for Liesl, but not telling him why. I mean, I think Peter's like smart enough to put something together, but I don't think he officially knows. Valentine's never said.
And I don't know why I feel this. I feel like there was something that happened before that makes me think that he knows. He may not know it's specifically Sasha, but I think he knows that Valentine's lying about somebody playing somebody's daughter. I don't know.
I know that Valentine's always never on the up and up, and so
Oh, they said no. They said no, he doesn't. That Peter did. Thank y'all. He said no, he doesn't know. Okay, I got it. Stuart Dulamong, Daisy Kelly. I got it. He don't know. I got it. Thank you for the answer. I appreciate you all. I really
don't know
do.
did you know he doesn't know?
Shut up, Frank. They're like, Frank is right. Ooh, now you know I shouldn't have read that out loud because I'll never hear the end of it.
Well, guys, please, you're making me blush. The one part I thought was a little cheesy was when she snaps the breadstick and Peter gets some of it in his eye. I'm like, why are we having this beat? And
Right?
should I take you to the doctor to go get your eye
Over
checked?
a breadcrumb.
What?
What is going on? I'm like, I cannot. Y'all are killing me.
Now, guys, before we get to our next topic, we just want to say thank you for making us the ESPN of TV Talk. And for us to continue to grow, you know what? We're actually going to need your help. If you're on YouTube right now, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you're on iTunes, we would love it if you gave us a 5-star rating. But no matter where you are, leave us a comment so you can get involved in the conversation. Being a part of AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to us, and we truly appreciate you supporting us and letting us do what we love. So don't forget to tell your friends, and thanks for enjoying our shows.
Hey now.
Hey
now. Just why did we do that? That was
That's
so
beautiful.
wrong. Okay.
My closest that I'll ever get a chance to do a duet with Carla. That
Oh
was
no,
my
I
closest.
can't even. So let's just talk about. I lost it real quick. Oh, let's just talk about this whole Donna Day situation. Child, I'm so over Miss Donna Day. I am over Miss Donna Day, but what I was not over is, and what I can't really wait to see play out, is little Miss Christina got her jaws tight over Sam being at the house so much, which leads me to believe that she got a little something for Shiloh. And I'm just kind of like, why is Shiloh making his rounds all over all over Port Charles? We've seen him interact with Alexis. We've seen him interact with Sonny. We've seen him interact with Drew. I'm like, Jason. I'm like, who else does he need to interact with? And I feel like Alexis might get caught up in it just for Christina's sake, not realizing that she's getting caught up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is getting a little annoying for Christina. We talked about this last week too. When somebody has a way that they think works best, and they just want to make sure everybody they care about does that same thing, not realizing like it might not be something that the other
It's
person
not everything
cares
for
about.
everybody, right?
Yeah.
It reminds me, I practice Buddhism, and it's kind of like when we have Buddhist meetings. Sometimes people will come to a Buddhist meeting out of curiosity to see what it is, and then once they see what it is, some people at the Buddhist meeting don't have enough common sense to let people make up their own minds in their own way about whether this is something that resonates with them from a religious standpoint or whether it's not. They'll be all up in the person's face talking about, so give me your number and your email so I can put you on. I don't want to be on no list.
Yeah.
I don't want you to have my phone number. I don't want you to have my email. Can I just walk away from this and digest what I just witnessed and heard before I start committing to stuff? And I feel like that's what's happening with this whole Dawn of Day thing. Like first is Shiloh coming in with his little charismatic self, talking all that BS. And then once he feels like his BS meter has kind of resonated for an iota of a second, then he breaks out the book and starts talking about the book and talking about tapping into your inner self. I'm like, you were talking about tapping into some bullshit is what you're talking about. I'm like, come on now. Come on. Scientology, it reminds me of Scientology.
True. For as much as we all knew that there's something, clearly we're not going to be spending this much time with this character in this organization if there isn't something shady about
It's
it.
unsavory. What about when Jason went to see Harmony? And what about when he asked her what her real name is? She's like, that is my real name. I'm like, girl, please. I'm like, girl, bye. That is not your mama did not call you Harmony. Her name is probably Susie or Becky or something.
This is my rebirth name.
My rebirth name is Harmony. I'm like, yeah, get out of here with that madness.
I mean, I guess we finally get we get the official confirmation that he's up to no good after his conversation with Drew, and he's like, oh, one potential threat's been eliminated.
Ooh, he said it's not a religion, it's a cult. Yeah, Dawn of Day is a cult.
Yeah. But we get to see, the Harmony using their buddy in the police force to kind of strong arm Jason out of there. And then we get
and then she tried to act like she was doing him a favor. I was like, I'm confused because from where I'm sitting, it looked like you kind of was looking for homeboy to come over here and get you out of this mess, and now you're trying to make it look like you saved Jason? Get out of here with that. I was like, y'all are doing way too much right now.
I did like the scene where Shiloh shows up at Jason's place, and we get to see Jason like turning down the volume on his phone before he calls him.
Just why? I'm feeling like Jason gonna end up having to save the whole family, because I'm feeling like, as savvy as Sam is, there's a couple of moments where I felt like she might actually be falling for that BS that Shiloh was spinning her way too. Because there was this one moment where he said something to her about it was the two of them talking in the house right before she was leaving, and he said, do you want me to tell you why no relationship you've ever been in has worked, or why you gravitate toward dangerous men? And you were like, and then he said, and she says, yeah, whatever. And he goes, because everyone in your life abandons you. And her face was like, it was like she had a light bulb epiphany moment when he said that. And for a split second, I was like, oh, come on, Sam. Don't fall for the okie doke. Don't do it, girl. You a smart cookie. Come on back. Come on back. Come into the light. Come into the light, girl. Come into the light.
I could see it going that way, but I'm also thinking, like, trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, saying she knows what's going on, and so she's acting to give him the responses that he would want to see. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either. And then there's the moments whenever Jason's name is mentioned, her face lights up like a freaking pinball machine. So I'm like, somebody gonna catch on to what she's doing, because she's not as good of an actress as she thinks.
No.
And I'm feeling like her, Alexis, and Christina are gonna get caught up, and Jason's gonna end up having to save all three of them. That's what I'm feeling like is going down.
It's we get to see. We're gonna see
Jason saving her yet again. Oh, and the music has not come on in months. I wanted to bring that up to you because you haven't had to like cringe your teeth for a while. They've got new lovemaking music for Jason and Sam.
Yeah. It's like I would rather listen to the Franco and Liz theme than I would rather the Sam and Jason. The Sam and Jason, get out of here. We do get to see, and even when we talked about Brittany leaving to go to Young and the Restless, we do get to see Valerie return for a little bit this week.
They even put her in the slot machine thing opening.
Yeah.
I'm like, why they teasing us like that? They know she ain't gonna be there much longer.
But it was just seeing that just reminds me of just. It's going to be a shame to see that storyline be truncated.
I know. It was just, maybe they'll recast the role. Maybe they haven't let that cat out of the bag yet. Because I can't imagine they would bring all that up just to let it go by the wayside. That's not General Hospital's MO. Like, they never just let a storyline just fall off. They usually play it out to the nth degree,
Yeah. I mean, I guess only if, like we were talking last week, how much they feel like they can devote to this, and if it's worth recasting the role or just kind of letting this kind of die in the vine.
I think for Christina's sake, it would be good, but who am I? I'm just somebody that watches the show for over 25 years. That's all.
Because it would be weird to think about like some reason that it would make her leave. Like finally, when she seems to have her life together, at least professionally, she's made detective now at the PCPD. She doesn't seem to. We've not spent enough time with her to know about any other aspects of her life.
I mean, all I know about Valerie is that Valerie and Dante had that affair, and it almost affected her progress at PCPD, but then it didn't, and now she's one of the gang, and now she's out of there. So it's like you said, we don't. Just when they begin to give us a little bit about her, they detract to another storyline, and we never figure out what's going on. Remember, she was missing in action for months. Yeah. We didn't see Valerie for the longest time.
And if you did, it would be like, oh, my blue uniform, and I'm showing up at the hospital doing security for some reason. Like, oh,
yeah,
boy.
It's been weird. It's been really weird.
Do you feel the Donna Day storyline is its own storyline, or does it tie into anything else we're seeing on the campus?
I don't think it's tying into anything else. I think it's its own separate entity, or it's feeling like that. Because it's feeling like the people that are interacting with the Donna Day storyline aren't interacting with anything else, really. Doesn't it feel like that to you?
Yeah, I mean, the only
except for Carly.
Yeah.
That's the only person her and Sonny are the only ones outside of that whole nucleus of Alexis and Christina and Sam and Jason and Spinelli. Carly only got brought into it because Sam and Jason have been discussing it with Carly. And then I think did Jason discuss it with Sonny? No, somebody discussed something with Sonny, or Sonny peeped Shiloh talking to Christina. He wasn't having it, so that's how Sonny got weaved into it. So I'm just like,
Now, speaking of Alexis, though, she gets to do her first session with her new therapist.
that was pure comedy right there.
Are you liking Joe Flanagan as the new therapist?
Okay, I'm kind of, because I went, after you said that to me, I went back and I watched it again. I'm like, did I miss something? Maybe I missed something. Let me go back and watch. So I went back and watched it. I'm like, okay, they got a little bit of chemistry, but you know Alexis gonna mess it up. She mess up everything. She's so wound tight and crazy over friggin' Julian. And Julian is loving the fact that she gets flustered over the fact that she still kind of has the hots for him. Like he's living and loving on that right now. But he's still with Kim. So that whole situation, I'm like, I'm gonna need y'all to like play one side of the fence or the other. Stop flipping back and forth. It's making me dizzy.
I feel like Alexis at this point that doesn't necessarily still loves Julian, but loves the way that she felt when she was with Julian. And
that's what she said to Christina when they had that session where Christina was in her face yelling at her.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, why are y'all yelling in each other's face? Like, why? I don't like this.
Now, there's been on the rumors and speculations about this whole stuff with the therapist now is going to start kicking off more of that kind of storyline we saw a while back ago when she was looking at her mother's watch. There's
and they dropped that too.
Yeah, and there was that person that with the cast iron ring that took Cassandra after she kind of escaped.
Oh yeah, they did drop all that stuff. Oh, but that usually is. I know I said that isn't usually GH's MO, and it isn't. But they did. I forgot about that. They did drop that storyline cold.
Yeah,
it's like boop, like a hot potato. I'm like, okay, well.
So I mean, I guess we're gonna. Are you excited about the idea of Alexis kind of that we could get the storyline started up again, or were you not like, I don't really care about any other Cassadine?
I don't really care about Cassadine stuff anymore at this point. I mean, there's not any other Cassadines left other than her, right? And Valentine.
Yeah, I mean, well,
and Spencer,
and whichever one of the perhaps dead Cassadines have come back to life.
Well, they can't bring Helena back. They didn't brought Helena back so many times it makes my head spin.
I always felt like that storyline was kind of truncated.
Maybe Shiloh is a Cassadine.
Maybe. When Tyler Christopher left, I felt like they were gearing up for more of a storyline about what happened to Helena. Because she has that painting, and it felt like it was really...
And that dropped cold, too. Yeah. Maybe they're dropping more stuff than I thought.
Because it really felt like it was being set up to really investigate. The Nicholas ended up poisoning Helena and killing her. And it just kind of got dropped, and then he was off the show.
I used to love the woman that played Helena, though. Oh, man, she was good.
Constance Tower? Oh,
yes. Miss Constance. I lived for when she was on the screen the same way I lived for when Liesl was on the screen. Like, they come onto the screen, and they just take over whatever scene they're in. It takes a lot of skill to do that, and they're really gifted at it. I love it.
Well, seeing those scenes between her and Anthony Geary when they kind of start butting heads.
Oh, when they would have that tit for tat. Oh, it was great. I heard he might be coming back.
I'd
for
be
a
all
split
up for
second.
But I wouldn't want it for a split second. But I would want it for a little bit of time.
Yeah, I heard through the grapevine he might be coming back for like a split second. I was like, really, Tony? You gonna come back? Okay. Okay, Tony Geary. Okay.
Well, we got ourselves a jailhouse wedding. Our pal
Frizz.
Yes. After all the truncated weddings that they had tried, this is how it goes down. Were you happy with the way that we finally get to see the Frizz wedding happen?
I was with Elizabeth on that one. She looked at that little sketch and she was like, I'm about tired of this almost happening and it never happening because this happened or that happened. I just want to get it over with and let's just do it. I feel bad for Franco, though, because this is the one time where he's innocent and nobody believes him except for her. But at least Elizabeth does believe him because she could have been, like, twisting him in the wind, too. But she didn't. So she's standing by her man. Got to give it to her for that.
I do like that. He's also got Drew backing him up as well.
Yeah. Because Drew is his brother. So, there's that. But, yeah, I like that.
I like the sentiment because especially Franco, after being so hated, to have somebody speak up and say you're like the brother that most of the times I want to throttle. The only thing that disappoints me about that is I wish we could have seen more of them together after the whole fallout with everything with My Two Dads.
Oh yeah, they did kind of gloss over that too.
Yeah, they
kind of just dropped it, and then the next time we saw them together, everything was all good in the hood. So yeah. Excuse me.
But we get to see this wedding. How did you feel about it? Because Liz says something very nice and from the heart when they're doing their vows. And all Franco can say is like, I love you. That's it. Like,
I mean, think about it. The man is traumatized. He probably got so many thoughts swimming around in his head that he probably couldn't even begin to communicate what he wanted to without losing his stuff completely. And who wants to see their brand new husband behind a bar blubbering like a baby? I wouldn't.
be tough. You
I'm
gotta
like,
be tough on bars.
Toughen up, honey. Clench that bar and hold it in. I'm kidding. That is just so wrong and cold. That is so not me. Sorry.
Well, we do see at the end of the week, though, that Jordan, she kind of breaks up the little post-wedding vows and wants to talk to Franco. And it looks like it's setting up. She realizes that Franco is innocent.
Well, yeah, her and Curtis had that conversation where they were like, Curtis was like, yeah, this is too much of a setup to be like the real, like this feels like a setup. Like it's too much of a coincidence to be a coincidence that they found the 4 driver's license, just 4 of them.
Yeah.
Like where are the other ones? Like it was just so. What I will applaud them on is the fact that they're not taking that circumstantial evidence and going, yep, let's throw the book at him. We're going to get him. But she's using that as an impetus to actually throw the book at him to see if to flush out the real killer. So
I do like that. It's like, all right, Jordan, way to be smart about this. There is some speculation about what's going to happen with Jordan to kind of throw that off. It's like it's one of those like somebody goes undercover, but only one person knows, and then that person gets injured, and it's like,
right.
Oh no, everybody thinks I'm really this person.
Right. Yeah. I would hate to see anything happen to her. She new on the scene. Can she just be unscathed for a minute? Can we just leave her unscathed? Can we just not have anything happen to Jordan right now?
Well,
let something happen to Margot's ass. Why it got to be Jordan? I'm just saying.
Yeah. Do we even care about Margot anymore? Like once that kind of got resolved with Sonny, I was like, yeah.
I cared about Margot when it looked like her and Sonny were gonna possibly hook up, and then they kind of squashed that because the fans were like, yeah, we're not having it, so they let that go real quick.
Yeah. I still don't know how you could have had that happen and then still get them back together with Carly and still have us care.
Yeah.
But I feel like Margot is much like Griffin, where they're just 2 people that are kind of floundering and there's no real purpose for them.
Yeah.
They'll come there for like that, for some advice or just like, oh yeah, do you have any thoughts about this? Or oh hey, just arrest this person anyway. Like that's all we're getting.
I love how
for.
She's always sitting in the interrogation room with files. Like, what are these files you're looking at? Like how many criminals does Port Charles really have? I'm like, it's only so big. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, if it's that much of a criminal population, nobody's going to be coming to live in that city.
Exactly.
Forget
exactly.
It. Sorry, Lucy.
But they have town meetings and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, it's just funny to me. I'm like, okay.
Well, the one thing that could throw a wrench into Jordan's plan is the storyline that's happening with Robert, Anna, and Finn over there in Sweden, where they meet the doctor they've been looking for. The
blind doctor.
Yes, and so they're going to do the operation. Mm-hmm. So we've got that going for. But that means that there's still. Well, still we haven't seen Alex yet, so and we don't know if she's been inflicted by the blindness yet.
No, that's going to be interesting to see if that happens or not.
And we still have another pair of twins on the show that have not been inflicted by blindness.
And we still have Cassandra because we haven't seen her, right?
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of people ready to pop up at any given moment.
It's only a matter of time before either Drew or Jason go blind.
Wouldn't that be horrible if it was Jason while he's in the middle of doing this whole Dawn of the Day stuff? Ooh, that would be terrible. Dawn of Day, D.O.D., Dead on Arrival. I've been dying to say that all week. Dead on Arrival, Dawn of Day.
Well, I guess we can hop right into some hot news and gossip here.
Okay.
Let's see what you think about some of these other potential storylines. We do have potential rumors happening for a storyline. As I mentioned with Drew, he's going to lose his vision at a terrible time when you're driving a car.
Oh, accident.
Yeah.
Ooh, not good.
Who's going to be the unlucky person that get hit by that car? It's your girl, Jordan.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
My girl.
Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, no.
So
Let's hope she don't have like a brain injury And forget what she's investigating.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just saying.
Franco, he's going to admit to killing Kiki. And, of course, the only person that knows that he's just doing this as a scam.
It's Jordan. Oh.
We also have here Laura. Finally, we're going to get some movement on this. Where's Kevin at? Mm-hmm. The idea is that she's going to find him in Ferncliff, but also get taken by Ryan and trapped in Ferncliff.
Oh.
As well.
Why he trying to put everybody in Ferncliff? I need for somebody to drop kick him and throw him in a room with a padded cell.
The only thing I like about this, though, is that at least if we can get Laura and Kevin together,
then they can figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. At least just to finally somebody's found Kevin. I feel like that makes us at least one step closer to wrapping this thing up.
Yeah.
So I'd be all down for that.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, when Kevin's blind, he's been doped up to his gills for months.
Poor Kevin.
We also have somebody that might be coming back to reprise an old role. And that is Kristen Alderson, who played Star Manning.
Oh, yeah.
She had mentioned on social
her.
media, that she was hanging around the GH offices for some reason. Could it be coming back as a new character? Could it be reprising Star Manning? The Prospect Park lawsuit has been settled, so they do have access to those One Life to Live characters.
There was a lawsuit?
Yeah, there was when they did the old One Life to Live and All My Children.
Right.
So that's why they had to lose Star and John McBain.
I remember they brought all those people over from One Life to Live.
They had to take off. So would you want to see Star Manning come back?
No.
No.
I could care less.
That was short and sweet. I did like that. All right. That sounds good. See you later.
I'm like, yes, Star, bye, deuces.
And there's also the thought about if Carly loses the baby, that she could still get her son back, that Morgan could return. I don't think that's going to happen.
I'm not really feeling that at all. I heard that too, and I was like, they need to leave that alone. Can we just leave Morgan alone for a minute? Can we just,
But we do have one person returning, or two. We've got Dominic is going to be returning, so Dante will be back on the canvas.
Yay!
And our favorite Australian, Jax, will be back.
Ooh.
For how long? Who knows? But he'll be back at least for a little bit.
I love when Jax comes back.
You
don't like when Jax comes back?
I love when Jack comes back, but if they're going to bring him back, give him more to do. These little pop-ins aren't enough. I don't know what his deal is with the show, if he can stick around for at least a few weeks.
Maybe he got some, a lot of times when, it's like when Carolyn said when she was here, she said she hadn't been on it in months, but in my mind, she had been there just last week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe they have other stuff like Carolyn. Carolyn was shooting films and doing all kinds of stuff while she wasn't at GH. So.
Well, I know that Ingo was busy on another soap, so he was tied up there, but now he's free from that. So it would be great to see a little bit more of the corporate side come up, because we see Ned Ashton. He's got Ned Quartermaine, Ned Quartermaine now. Not Ashton, no more.
Eddie Main.
Yes. He's sitting there, he's got nothing else going on except, making out in his
making out with
him,
making out with his wife.
So
that was funny, and it was so random. I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
That was very random.
It's like, hey, if that's you, just want to remind us that he's around town and he doesn't have anything going on. I would love for him and Jax to team up on something. Why not? I'd take it.
Okay.
It's just give Wally Kurtz something to do. That's
okay. Yeah, they said that Ingo was Bold and the Beautiful, and that he left there. And somebody else said that they want Taya Delgado. We do not need Taya Delgado on General Hospital. No, K Coco Candy. No.
Well, we could see Roger Howarth do dual roles. It could be Franco as well as Todd Manning.
You know what I do want to see is I need for that whole Willow baby, not Willow baby situation be resolved.
Yeah.
I need for that to be resolved.
Where we're going to see at least Willow and Brad admit, we both know who each other, what the deal is here, right?
Yeah,
so.
I'm about tired of seeing Brad looking like he's like angst all the time.
Well, I got to get going. I can't stay here now, even though I was coming up here anyway, but I can't stay.
His lines must be so easy to learn. He must get that script and be like, yes, I'll memorize this while I'm in the makeup room.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're wrapping up here for this episode of the GH Report. Time flies when you're breaking down shenanigans with the incredibly talented Carla Renata. As always, folks, though, like us on Facebook, give us 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and thank you, everybody, for hopping in the chat I know Carla loved reading everything you had to say.
I did.
But if you want to stay in touch with either of us after the show's over, Carla, where can they find you?
You guys can find me at 5 o'clock every Sunday over at Black Hollywood Live doing the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata, where we talk about film reviews. I have a few guests every once in a while. Find me here at the GH Report, and you can see all my film reviews at thecurvyfilmcritic.com or at Rotten Tomatoes.
Ooh, look at that.
Oh, and you can catch me on Superstore on NBC every once in a while, too.
Love it. And I mean, the Oscars are coming up soon, so
The
I'm sure there's
Oscars
some
are next
things are coming up for
Sunday.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got some things brewing for the Oscars?
No. Well, most of the stuff usually happens at the last minute, but I do have something that's coming up, but it's not in conjunction with the Oscars, and I might possibly be able to share that next week. Not
Love
sure.
it. I love it. That's a compelling reason to tune in, folks, for sure. As always, folks, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie, or don't follow Carla instead. She's much more cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All social media platforms at The Curvy Critic. Forgot to say that.
No worries.
I'm so busy plugging everything, I forgot the social handle.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the GH Report. We'll be back next Sunday night with an all-new episode right here on AfterBuzz TV.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.